Hello, second video. If you didn't catch the first one, I talked about estimating and exporting very quickly, just to show you how to do it. And this video is the follow-up to that, how to export production information. Okay, so this one's a little bit more in depth, but it's going to run you through the steps that you need in order to prepare this model for importing to PowerFab. And this video is designed for detailing, offices, detailers, and before you get to the export, you just need to make sure that you've got the production ready model, you've got all of your drawings are created and edited, and then we'll move forward. And actually this process should simplify, well, at least for the drawing office, should simplify the issuing process, because you're not having to print your PDFs to a specific locations, you're not having to produce loads of reports for everything. With one exception, you might want to continue doing the bulk lists, but it should simplify the entire issuing process. Okay, so the only two exports you might want, the PowerFab export and the drawing and the bulk list. All right, so let's have a look at what we need. So you've got the model, let's have a look at the drawings. That's the views. Let's have a look at the drawings. I do know how to use the software, I promise. Bring up the document manager, and that's enormous. Let's narrow it down. All right, so we've got all of our drawings, okay, and you can see we've got assembly drawings and we've got single part drawings, right. All we need to do from this perspective, once they're edited, is pick all your drawings and then export them. Okay, so I'm just going to use the menu on the left to toggle to single part drawings. I'll simply select everything that we've got here. We will hit the print button, we will switch to PDF files, and we will send that to plot files and single. Now, whether you print all the drawings to plot files or whether you do subfolders inside those for single and assembly will depend entirely on your marking system. Okay, so if you have your part mark dictated by the main part mark, so i.e. if you have a beam B1 and the shaft then inherits B1 as its mark, you'll want to be specific about the files that you export it to. If you simply have an assembly B1 and the shaft is marked M1, you can print all of your single parts and assemblies to the same folder. If you've got any questions on that, I'll work specifically with you. But for the purpose of this, I'm going to print them to single just to show you the process. Okay, so hit print, and that will export those as individual PDFs to that destination folder. Okay, and again, it's important to pay attention to that destination folder when you're doing the printing. So we'll let that finish. When I do the assembly, I'll be quiet and I'll speed that up for the benefit of the video. All right, so those single port drawings are done. Let's do the assembly drawings. So let's select all of those. We'll hit print, we'll do the same process, but this time we're going to change it to assembly. Like that, we hit print and I'll speed this up. Beautiful. Okay, so we've printed the drawings to PDFs. The next thing we need to do is to do the NC files. So most detailers know this trick. Make sure you have your select objects and components button pressed, particularly when you're ordering cold rolled material, which we aren't in this example, but we want that to press so that we pick up the plates. There are a few things that I want to get rid of in this model, mainly the cold roll items. I don't want to be bringing those into PowerFab because I'm not using the system to order them, although you can. So let's get everything that we want to order. Right, good. So the next thing we need to do is export your NC files. So go to your NC files and export those. Similarly to your drawings, we want to make sure that the destination is edited because we want them to go to the same place. So ordinary, the default settings are DSTV underscore plates and then DSTV underscore profiles, but you want to modify those so that they're deposited in the same place. That simply makes it easier for you to find the NC files. Saves you having to go into the model folder and moving all the NC files. Just print them to the same destination and then that bit of manual work's done. So you'll notice I've got that to NC underscore files for both settings. Okay, so once I've got those set, switch it to selected parts, create all of those. That takes no time at all to do. And then that's that. Okay, so very quickly let's check our exports. So these are old exports, we don't want those. So in the NC files, we've got all of the plates and shaft NC files, which is fantastic. And then in plot files, we have two subfolders, assembly and single. Okay, so we're all ready to go there. Once you've done those, you very simply go to export, Tekla PowerFab. Now this is going to depend on which version you've got. I'm using 2023. So this is built in. If you've got the exporter plugin, you'll find it in your applications and components under EPM. Okay, but it works the same way. So run PowerFab exporter, and then you get this dialog box. Okay, so this is where you tidy it all up. So you want to set this drop down to zip, and then change the name of the export. Okay, so I'm just going to say export.zip. Okay. Down the left hand side, you want to pick selected from model. Obviously we haven't selected it yet. We can do that now while it's fresh in our minds. And then I suggest you only tick the top ones. We're not going to be using bolts and studs, so it's not worth having them ticked. And then on the right hand side, we are going to point it to the files that we created earlier on. So for the assembly drawings, if you remember, we called that assembly. For the single parts, we called that single. And then for the NC files, it was NC_files. Okay. Once you've configured this, once you've worked out what works best for you and you've configured it, you can obviously save the settings as a standard file, and then keep that forever, and then you won't have to configure this again. Okay. But once that's done, and I'm going to expand this to show the error log, we hit export to Tekla PowerFab. It's going to run through all of that. We are having an issue with our numbering, which we've skipped over. We can obviously explore what that means. It looks like it's okay. And there you go, there's your export. All right, and you'll find that in your Tekla PowerFab folder in the model folder. Okay, so that's inside there. Once you've got that, you're ready to go. Send that to your PowerFab controller and they can import it through production control, and we're ready to go. On that subject of the next steps here, I have been planning for a while, and I will do them, a series of demonstration videos where you'll see how to use those files, which I'll link in the video description down below once they're ready, just to button it all up and look out for those. Okay, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.